Welcome to the Lyons Community Farm Project series. Thanks to our wonderful town of Lyons and our amazing teachers, Amy, Marissa, and Nick, we're designing and building a food forest for Lyons. We're so excited to be learning about permaculture, and we've been taking a design course through Drylands Agroecology research. And we can't wait to share some of what we've been learning with you.
Understanding succession, right? Understanding that all soil on Earth was built first from lichens digesting rocks, and then once there was a slight, small layer of soil, the first plants that came into the ecosystem were the pioneer species. And oftentimes these species of plants root really deep. They can root into subsoil layers, and they can mine nutrients out of the subsoil. And then they take that into their foliage, and by doing that, once their foliage dies back to the ground, that continuously builds a layer of topsoil and kind of paves the way for the succession process to occur. So once the pioneer species have colonized and built up enough soil, then herbaceous perennials come into the ecosystem. And oftentimes these plants also can root deep into the ground, into the subsoil, and just continuously bring that fertility and the nutrients up to the surface. And they will die back to the root during the dormant season. And again, just paving the way for then pioneer trees and shrubs, usually nitrogen fixing shrubs that can take atmospheric nitrogen, take it into their foliage, and then that will be exuded into their roots. The nitrogen fixation process usually takes place by nitrogen fixing trees exuding certain compounds into their roots that bacteria and fungal have interrelated. It's like a codependency, so to speak, where those funguses and bacteria are eating those exodus, and they are releasing nitrogen into the soil. So you'll often see nitrogen fixing plants growing next to fruit trees in the wild, and all of these plants in nature are just progressing in succession towards an canopy forest, right? So in permaculture and regenerative design, we're always doing our best to pick a layer of succession and mimic it with useful plants, right? Knowing that the most productive ecosystems in terms of biomass, in terms of diversity, are woodland type ecosystems, right? Where there's about 40% shade cover, but enough sunlight to reach the forest floor so that different forbs, herbs, flowers, pollinator species can also grow in the woodland. So in that same kind of way, we don't really think of weeds as weeds, right? They're actually they have a function for the ecosystem. They have a function for the soil, whether they're preparing the soil for other more evolved successions to occur, or maybe they're pulling out heavy metals in the soil, just like thistles, hemp, other plants that can actually clean the soil, right? So in that sort of sense, we see all plants as allies and friends, and really just seeing them in any ecosystem allows us to understand what the soil type is like, how much moisture is in the ecosystem. Yeah.